Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Listen, we finally got episode 12 of My Hero Academia. It was action-packed, jam-packed, definitely had some great things in it, so I'm definitely ready to get after this review. Alright, so episode 12 starts us off where obviously episode 11 picked up. We got All Might. He shows up to save the kids, and he couldn't have really come at a better time. The kids were definitely on the verge of getting effed up, but you talk about All Might. Naturally, he's going to be there. So, we just had to wait for him. Now, very first thing he does, which I thought was pretty funny, was he hurries up and rescues the kids, and it's like that, done. No time wasted. All Might does what he does. But this dude, this dude is so freaking amazing that he actually had time to punch one of the villains while he rescued the kids. Like, how the hell that even works, I have no idea. But it's All Might, he did it, so it is what it is. Now, after he does this, he kind of gets himself into a little bit of a trouble, Clearly, this Nomu is not a regular villain. Who even knows what the hell it is at this point, But we do know that Deku, earlier in episode 11, had punched it with a full smash, and it really had no effect. But we are talking about Deku, so who knows if maybe the Nomu really just took his punch, or if he just really didn't deliver correctly. But either way, he warned All Might about it. So, All Might took it with a grain of salt. He was like, cool, thanks, I got you, So, one thing, let me touch on something else. One thing I love about All Might is that, yeah, he's big and he's brawny and he's strong, but I love that they didn't make him like all of the other big and strong characters, Because normally characters like All Might with that kind of size and everything, they might be strong, but they're really not too much going on up here, But luckily, they created All Might with some intelligence. All Might is actually a pretty sharp dude. So, the very first thing that All Might does is punches the Nomu in the stomach, and it has no effect. So rather than keep punching him in the stomach like a dumbass, All Might says, well, why not just go ahead and try to give him a headshot? Which he does, and that has no effect, So, to credit All Might's intelligence, he doesn't stop there. Clearly, this Nomu has the same amount of strength as All Might, so he really has to find a way to stop this thing. So what he tries to do is pick it up and slam it and bury it into the ground. But that doesn't work, unfortunately, because the portal god jumped in. One thing I loved about this is that, it showed the greatness of All Might, but it also showed the greatness of two of the other characters as well. And that's Bakugo and Todoroki, One thing I love that it showed was that these guys really aren't that scared. I mean, throughout this whole event, you see Deku scared, Moneta scared. Basically, everyone's scared of what's going on with these villains. But these two guys are not scared. And because they aren't scared, they're able to think rationally, and they're able to actually, think logically without being thrown off by fear. Now, because of this, Todoroki is able to freeze not only the Nomu, but he's able to kind of save All Might. And for Deku, for Bakugo, he's able to save Deku because, like a fool, at one point Deku chased after All Might, and he was actually going to get sucked into a portal. And who knows what would have happened to him after that. But because of Bakugo, he was able to, Bakugo stopped the portal guy, and he was able to pin him to the ground. Now, talking about intelligence, Bakugo is another guy who really doesn't get credit for his intelligence, Granted, he flies off at the mouth all the time. He's rash, he's hot-headed, but he's actually a pretty smart kid, and he figured out earlier that the portal guy actually had a physical body, and because of that, he was able to hold him down and basically threaten blowing him up. So I thought that was pretty cool. As the episode goes on, it showcases a few things. One, it shows the greatness of All Might, just how phenomenal of a hero this guy really is. And two, it kind of gives him the opportunity to teach the kids a little bit of something. You understand, these kids are still in school, and while they do have some awesome powers and awesome abilities, they really have no experience when it comes to dealing with villains, And a lot of times, when you see stuff like that, they see these number one heroes, and they see these top heroes, and they see All Might, and they just idolize them and they glorify them. But really, they don't understand what really comes with the job. And I think that this episode did a great job of really showing how serious things can get as a pro hero, You already got Aizawa Sensei that's been beaten up. You got number 13 that's really in pieces. And then, in this episode, you got All Might, whose weak spot gets damaged. So you really see that despite these guys being these powerful heroes, things don't always go as according to plan. But it is what it is. I love the part where All Might tells the kids, let me show you how a pro hero really does it. Because they got to learn a little bit, and we got to learn a little bit as well. You see All Might, and he goes in, and he's giving it 100%. They see All Might fighting all out, even though his hits really aren't affecting the no move, just the sheer force from him is just incredible. It's knocking all of the villains back, it's knocking all the hero children back. So I thought that's pretty cool. Now, as the episode continued, we finally got a clearly defined definition of what plus ultra means. You hear plus ultra and they say plus ultra, and it's kind of like their calling card, their motto, so to speak, but really you're kind of like, what the fuck is plus ultra? But luckily today we actually got to find out what that is. And really, plus ultra means to go past your best. It means to go beyond 100%, and I freaking love that. I love that. Before All Might fighting the Nomu, he really had his hands full. The Nomu, as strong as he is built to absorb his attacks. So, really, what could All Might do? Luckily, like I said earlier, All Might's a smart guy. The bad guy with the hands on his face, Tamura, he tells All Might, hey, this thing is built to withstand you at 100%. All Might was like, oh, 100%, cool. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go past 100%. And he did. And, that gave us a crazy-ass fight. It really gave us a crazy-ass fight. So if All Might going past 100%, you really got to see the ultimate meaning of plus ultra. And when it's all said and done, All Might says that he hit this thing over 300 times. That's insane. 300 hits at All Might's strength is incredible. But he didn't stop there. He said, in his prime, he would have taken 5 hits. He fucked this thing up with 300 hits. If 5 hits would have been enough back in the day, I can't imagine how strong he would have been back then. But clearly he would have been on some next level, almost godlike shit. So I thought that was pretty cool that they threw that in there. Now, a lot of times when we watch these anime and stuff with heroes, we always tend to only side with the heroes a little bit, never really kind of understanding the villains. But Tamura actually said something in this episode that kind of struck me as intriguing. There was a part where Bakugo had just saved Deku, and Tamura had sent the Nomu to hit Bakugo, but All Might jumps in the way, and instead he takes the blow and gets Bakugo to safety. As All Might recovers from the blow, he says to Tamura, do you not know how to show restraint? And Tamura's like, why should I show restraint? Like, why? Why do things always have to be defined like heroic or villainous? Then he says that earlier in the day, when Deku was coming after him, Deku had every intention of hitting him with a full-on smash, and Tamura basically justifies not holding back by saying, I was basically doing the same thing. I was just trying to rescue a comrade. So why is it bad that when I come to save my comrade with my all, but it's not so bad when, you guys do it? And I think you kind of get to look at him a little bit in the sense that maybe he's really not all that bad, but in a way, it could be possible that he's kind of just looking for some equality. And it seems like that might be one of the reasons why he hates All Might so much. They call All Might the symbol of peace, but who really defines what peace means? Who defines what's good and who defines what's bad? And I think that's kind of where Tamura's at in terms of his thought process and the way he thinks. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what kind of guy he really is as we get to know him a little more as the anime and manga and stuff progresses. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But other than that, it was a great episode. I'm glad that we finally got to see All Might kick some bad guy ass because, who doesn't love seeing All Might do what he does best, And every time he fights, he clearly shows why he's number one, and he clearly shows that he's just way above everyone else. So it's definitely a good episode in that sense. But other than that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this review up. Hopefully you enjoyed what I had to say. If so, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button because I definitely appreciate it. Your boy definitely loves it. Also, if you guys want to carry on with me, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is Heroes Come Back Too. Definitely love talking to people in there. Definitely love chatting it up. So definitely catch me on that. And lastly, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Come on, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I definitely appreciate the support. Love when you guys subscribe, and I really just love talking anime in general. So go ahead and do that for me because your boy's going to appreciate it. As always, guys, thanks for stopping in. I'm your boy, Heroes Come Back Too. Peace.